What was the first concert you attended? I've only attended one concert, Davido's concert. And guys, hey, I was sprayed tear gas. I was treated like I was trash on top of my money. What was the first time you truly felt alone? It was in secondary school. I had a clique of friends that felt like a clique of gossipers. What was the first time you questioned your purpose or path? The first time I really questioned my purpose or path in life has to be when my mom died. I remember vividly telling God, what am I living for? Just take my life. What was your first embarrassing moment? Oh my God, I've had a lot of embarrassing moments in my life. The first major one has to be, what was your first romantic getaway? Ooh, there was a time when I went on this trip. I had this colleague I was kind of into, but we're into each other. So when was your first real heartbreak and what did it teach you? Well, it taught me tough love. I just didn't feel loved and it broke my heart every single time. I felt used. He was just collecting my money. Hi my loves and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time stopping by, you are welcome. My name is Cheta and I create content in Abuja, Nigeria. You are in the right place. Make sure you smash the subscribe button down below so you become one of us, okay? It's my returning guys. Welcome back. Thank you guys so much for your love and your support. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Please subscribe. You guys, you know what to do, okay? And yeah, let's jump into today's video. First things first, guys. Happy New Year. This is our first video for 2026. Welcome to a new year. This year is gonna be amazing, okay? Yeah, pretty much. Why am I shooting this video in particular? Now, to this video, I want to do some kind of intro because I feel like it's been a minute since I introduced myself to my community. And guys, we are growing. Not as much as I would love us to grow, but yeah, we are growing. So let me reintroduce myself to those new here. Hi, my name is Chetachukwu Ijoma Arinzechi. I'm a content creator based in Abuja, Nigeria. I am also a QA engineer on the side, so I am not a full-time creator. I am a Texas, if that's what you call it. I test software applications. I think that's it. I love to live my best life. I love to travel, create cooking content, lifestyle videos. Basically just enlighten and educate all of you guys, my community out there. I love genuine, true, loving people. I do not like shady people or people that are just sketchy and messy and dirty people. Yeah, that's another thing I don't like. I think that's it. If you have any more questions, anything you would love to know about me, drop them in the comment section. Yeah, I think that's pretty much basic introduction. So today's video, I was thinking, what do? I wanted something fun, you know, and I forgot. I was supposed to put up a Q&A for you guys to ask me questions. I forgot. So I thought really hard and I said, okay, let's shoot this. My first time tag. It's something I've always wanted to do for a while now. I've seen videos like this with a lot of creators. So I just said, today is that day, let's shoot it. So I did go online and I did find a couple of questions on my tab here. And yeah, let's answer some of them. They are first time questions and they are segmented into personal life moments, content creation, career edition, fun and random, relationship and vulnerability. Just categorized to a few, travel, things that I actually enjoy and I'm passionate about, okay? So because I don't want this video too long, I'm going to jump right into the first question. It says, what was your first job? My first job was actually, I was an admin officer, was my IT. I was interning at INEC, the Independent National Electoral Commission, Cheta. My God. So it's the body that handles the whole elections in Nigeria. That was where I did my industrial training and I was an admin officer. Yeah. That's pretty much my first job. What was your first phone? My first phone. I can't remember my first phone. It probably is Nokia Touchlight. Everybody knows Nokia Touchlight. But I think my first proper phone was 170k phone like that. 17, not 70 please. 17k phone that my mom bought. I can't remember the name, but it's still a Nokia Android. That time they used to have Symbian phone, something like that. Yeah, that's my first proper phone. Okay, the next one here says, what was the first concert you attended? I've only attended one concert, Davido's concert. And guys, hey, I was sprayed tear gas. I was treated like I was trash on top of my money. That's my first and probably my last. I'm a believer in never say never. I might go back for a concert, but I don't know yet. But man, based on that experience, nope. I feel like I shouldn't spend my money to be treated like trash. So I don't know. The chances are very slim, but again, never say never. I don't know if that will be my last concert. Next one says, what was the first time you truly felt alone? It was in secondary school. I had a clique of friends that felt like clique of gossipers. Clique of gossip mates. I remember when we were like a clique of 8, we're so large, and we had friendships within the group friendship, and everybody was backbiting and gossiping about each other. And I heard what all of them were saying about me, my supposed friends, and I felt really bad, honestly. That was the first time I was in a friendship or ever felt alone. So yeah. I went through a lot in secondary school, and it did scare me, but thankfully God gave me the most amazing friends I could ever ask for when I was in the university. So yeah, that answers that. Next question here says, what was the first time you questioned your purpose or path? The first time I really questioned my purpose or path in life has to be when my mom died. I remember vividly telling God, what am I living for? Just take my life. I want to die. Like, why am I here on earth when my best friend, the person I love so much, is no longer here? So yeah, that has to be the first time I ever questioned my path and my purpose, why I'm on this earth. Yeah. That was a very, very tough moment for me. Okay, so we're done with personal and life moments. We're moving straight to content creation and career edition. The first one says, what was your first YouTube video about? Probably something around weight loss, because then I lost a ton of weight, so I was obsessed about weight loss. So you just go scroll and check to my oldest video, you will see it's maybe something around weight loss. Then I was on the keto diet. Probably something around that. It was not like the typical standard get to know me Q&A. Nope. I was just trying to put up something out there, and that was what I put out. Yeah. The next one says, what inspired you to start creating content? I think I've shared this before, but I'm going to share it again. The fact that I get to document my life, I can watch it back. I've said this before. I'm very curious. What did my mom look like when she was my age? What did my dad look like? Like, what was their life like? I like that I have a diary where my children can go back and see what their mom was like when she was younger, what she did. Keeping my fingers crossed that YouTube, nothing happens to our files that were uploaded on YouTube server. But yeah, just recording my life, documenting it for myself and my unborn children, basically. So the next one, it says, what was the first major brand that ever paid you? The first major brand that ever paid me was Ekulor Groups. They produce Titus Sardine among other products. In December 2024, that was the first brand deal I ever got, and it was the hugest funds I've ever gotten from a brand. And aside from that, I was not even excited for the money alone. I was excited for the fact that I got to affiliate with this kind of big brand. I was very excited that time. So yeah, that was my first major brand that I ever paid me and I ever got to work with. So what mistake did you make in your first video that you laugh about now? Honestly, there's no specific mistake that I made. I just know that I was not so vocal. I was not so expressive. I didn't just know what I was doing. I was just doing it, but I didn't understand what I was doing. Pretty much that was it. There's no particular mistake, but just when I watched the way I pick my words, the way I sound, it was kind of cringe. But yeah, the growth and the development is what really matters, actually. The next one, it says, what was your first real failure and how did it change you? My first real failure in anything probably has to be me failing my WAEC exams. I've talked about that. And how it changed me was because I failed it, I rewrote it, and I passed very well. And then I realized that there was something in me, but I kept doubting myself. So it made me to really sit down and really talk to myself and let myself know that, see, you have a lot that you have within you. You really need to understand that you have something wonderful that you need to build up on. And then it created my consciousness. I was more conscious and I was more focused. And that has led up to the Chetta that you see today. So yeah, that's we're moving to fun and random. It says, what was the first app you checked this morning? Honestly, I can't remember. I'm not even going to come and pretend and lie to you and say, once I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is my Bible. I'm not lying. See, as the spirit leads, today it could be Instagram, tomorrow it could be TikTok, next tomorrow it could be Facebook, the following day it could be YouTube, whatever it is, or WhatsApp. Any social media platform is really the first app. I don't have a specific one. I just grab and go. I know it's not the right thing to do, but why I didn't do it is because sometimes when I want to wake up for my workout, I'm so tired. But if I get to watch some content, it opens up my eyes, and then I can stand up and get the day going, if that makes sense. What was your first embarrassing moment? Oh my god, I've had a lot of embarrassing moments in my life. The first major one has to be the day that my dad came to my school. I think I've shared this story on one of my cleaning videos. My dad didn't like us wearing trousers growing up, and you know how like when you go to university you won't follow people wear trousers now, you know. So he came to visit and I was wearing trousers. I was with my friends. Immediately I spotted him, came to see my brothers, and they didn't give me a heads up. My mom, my brothers, can you even imagine these people? So immediately I spotted my father. I ran into a bush. That has to be my top most embarrassing moment in my entire life. Okay, the next one, it says, what's the first thing you do when you wake up? Social media and then exercise. Social media just to wake myself up, and then I go and work out. So yeah, that's the pattern for me so far. So we're moving to relationship and vulnerability. It says, what was your first regular and celebrity crush? Honestly, I can't remember. I know there was a time I used to like all these Jim Ike, not so DOB and yada yada yada. Then when I used to watch Nigerian movies, yeah. But when I stopped watching Nigerian movies, I stopped having crushes. So I can't say I can remember. Maybe not so DOB, Jim Ike, you know, all those Emeka Ike, that year now, you get it. What was your first romantic getaway? Ooh, what was your first romantic getaway? Have I? Okay, yeah. So my first, I won't call it a romantic getaway, but there was a time when I went on this trip. Yeah. And I had this colleague I was kind of into, if I were into each other. So we just like, not like it was a romantic getaway, but like we maximized the trip, you know. We bonded, we talked, we had a good time basically. That's my first romantic getaway. Not romantic getaway per se, but you get what I get. You guys, you understand me. I'm not talking too much. Let's keep moving. What was your first Valentine's Day with someone special? So I think my first actual Valentine's Day where I got surprised was one where this guy I was dating, he sent me a gift Oyibo. He sent me a gift anonymously to my office, and I received it, and it was a very kind gesture. In fact, I was sleeping when someone came to wake me up. You have a gift, you have a gift. It was very beautiful. I was happy. He brought, I think, a cake and a card, and it was anonymous, where he eventually opened up. So yeah, that's my first actual Valentine's Day with someone special. So the next one here, what was the first time you cried over someone you loved? Now, this question is tricky in the sense of we cry over people we love. Like, it might not be romantic, it might be like loved ones, but if it's romantic we're talking about, since this is relationship and vulnerability, probably has to be my first relationship. I've talked about him. I called him Jude in my story. Probably he didn't treat me right. He didn't treat me like how I felt I should be treated, and that made me cry, but it is what it is. When was your first real heartbreak, and what did it teach you? Well, it taught me tough love pretty much. When was it? Maybe my first relationship. So the guy at the time, the Jude at the time, I remember I just didn't feel loved. And it broke my heart every single time. I felt used. He was just collecting my money. I've shared this story, guys. It did break my heart, but then it did teach me a lot to be more careful, cautious, to think better, you know that love is not just when they say it, the actions actually matters. It taught me a lot, actually. The next question here says, what was the first time you realized love isn't enough? Honestly, growing up, realizing that you don't just need love to thrive in a relationship. You need to be compatible. You need to be financially smart. The money is necessary. You like both parties. I'm not just saying one party now. Maybe the man needs to have money. The lady too has to have her own income, what she does. You know, like there's independence, financial independence, where when two of you come together, it makes sense. I mean, I think maturing just made me realize that love, before when I was small, I thought, once you love someone, that's it. Nope. There's a lot more to a relationship than merely love. Yeah. What was your first moment of genuine self-love? So my first genuine moment of self-love is really understanding, like I used to have like weight struggles all my life. I used to see myself as I wasn't good enough because I was fat, I wasn't the acceptable body size, and it used to affect my self-esteem then growing up. I remember when I just got to a point where I'm like, whatever. See, you need to love yourself. It took me a lot of reflection because at a point I thought it was the weight, right? I didn't love myself because I was fat, and then I lost the weight, but I still didn't love myself. Then I had to realize that it was a work that I had to do from within, and I did the work. It was very hard. I mean, there was a lot of tears and struggles, but I did overcome it. And right now, see guys, I love myself so much that sometimes I sound very selfish. There is nobody in this life that I think is finer than me, or you understand that that is better than me. I feel like I'm the best person on earth, and that's the energy. You understand? So we're moving to travel, and the first question here says, what was the first country you visited? The first country I visited is Qatar. It was a transit country into Kenya. So Kenya, but originally Qatar, because I had to transit through Qatar. What's the first local food you tried while abroad? My first local food. Okay, so it has to be in probably Kenya. Yeah, I tried nyama choma. I tried ugali. Their local dishes, East African dishes. It has to be those, yeah. The next one, it says, what was your first travel mistake? I think underestimating the check-in time. So you know how they'll say you need to be at the airport 4 hours for international flights, 1 hour for local flights. So I think I underestimated it. I almost missed my flight from Kenya to Nigeria, Kenya to Qatar actually. Guys, it was a very, very, like, you know when everybody has boarded, they're just announcing your name, Cheta. My God. So after that, learned my lesson, never doing that again. So the next one, it says, what was the first time you got lost in a new city? Never. I would not even try it. I always try to have a direction and a map and a tour guide, and just please, I can't be lost in someone's city. I already have too much anxiety to do that. I won't do that. Never. So the next one, it says, what was the first time travel changed your perspective on life? I think it has to be like when I went to Kenya, and the time zone difference, it wasn't much, but the fact that I think there are 2 hours ahead. So when it's 8 o'clock in Nigeria, it's 10 o'clock there, right? So they were 2 hours ahead or ahead of Nigeria. So it just made me realize that life is weird. The whole time zone difference. And then, yeah, when I went to Qatar, it was like 4 a.m. in the morning, and guys, the daylight was out. Like, I couldn't believe it, because having been in Nigeria all my life, and I know that 4 a.m. there's no way on earth that it will be like sunlight. So it was another thing where I felt like and then getting to see people live life in different countries and the uniqueness of culture. I think that's how travel has made me, what's the word now, see life in a different perspective. What was your first time traveling solo like? It was last year. No, not last year, sorry. At this point, 2 years ago. Wow. Crazy. 2024, September, I went to Senegal, Gambia, Cape Verde solo. And I loved it. Trust me, I enjoyed it, every bit of it. I like the fact that I'm in a room, I get to vlog. You know how like when you're vlogging, you're talking to yourself, people are like, is this all normal? But when you're alone, it makes more sense. You're selfish according to like, you're the only one, so the tour guide can easily take content of you without feeling like, oh, let's share it across all the travelers. I'm kind of selfish in that way, where I like solo travels. The next question says, what's the first destination still on your bucket list? Actually, I have a few. I have South Africa and a few Southern African countries like Namibia, Botswana, and the rest of them. I have London, Europe, Paris, and all the Schengen zones on my plate. I have some part of West Africa like Liberia, Sierra Leone, Mali, you know, the part of West Africa that I have not touched. Yeah, I still have a lot on my plate, really. United States, even though Trump right now will not allow us, but it's in the pipeline somewhere. Life and perspective. So what was the first time you felt you were living instead of surviving? Maybe probably when I was working this job where it was like I didn't have a life. I worked from Monday to Monday, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Yeah, I felt like I was not living, I was just surviving. And then the reverse is the case. When I left that job, the first 3 months after I left that job, it was peace. I rested, I slept, no chaos, no anxiety. I didn't have to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It was, we give God the glory. And then the last And maybe final question here says, what's the first time you were proud of yourself and why? I think now, how far I have come, being able to balance being a QA engineer, have a 9 to 5, have multiple jobs, 2 jobs currently. I have 2 9 to 5 jobs, and I still do content creation as a side hustle. I still have other businesses. I think I'm proud of I give myself a pat at the back from time to time. I'm like, Chata, I'm proud of you. So yeah, I think now I am proud as to how hardworking I am. I didn't know I was this hardworking ever, but yeah, that's it. So I think that's all my questions. If you have any questions for me, you guys drop them in the comment section. I love answering questions, by the way. Drop me any question, anything you have to ask me, okay? And I'll definitely answer. Maybe in an upcoming video, I can do another Q&A on anything you want to know about me, ask, okay? Yeah, I think that's it. Before I wrap up this video, I try to shout out small creators, especially on this YouTube streets. Growing on YouTube is one of the hardest things. So I try to shout out small YouTubers to give them a push in any way that I can, because I know when I started, I would do anything to get this shout out, okay? And today's shout out goes to @PrimeWeightManager1. She says, I'll appreciate a shout out, Cheta. I'm a beginner weight loss content creator and I don't have any subscribers yet. I'll really appreciate one. Thank you. So guys, if you are interested in Prime Weight Manager's journey, her weight loss journey, tips, tricks on how you can lose weight. This is a new year. Everybody wants to lose weight. Even me, I want to lose weight. I'm on a weight loss journey currently. In fact, I started today. So you guys should go check out Prime Weight Manager. Subscribe to her channel, show her love, tell her you're from Cheta's World, and it will go a long way in helping and supporting her. And if you want your own shout out, do let me know the name of your channel and what you do, and you might get a shout out in my next video, okay? If there's any kind of content you want to get from me in 2026, please drop your suggestions down below, because I feel like, should I take a break maybe so I can get more inspiration? But I'm like, let me see what I can do. So yeah, tell me what you want to see, sit down videos, vlogs, whatever it is. Ask and tell me anything around content creation you want me to talk about. You know, I love to talk about my journey so far as a creator. I'm happy to share. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share, and I'll see you guys next week for another vlog or a sit down video. Okay, see you in my next one. Bye.